going on YouTube?
What's up out there, everybody?
This is SEL 0320.
Joe Johnson 030.
So we are back. And right now, probably it's Thursday at midnight or roughly Friday, and y'all are watching this. We are doing a spoiler-filled review for this movie right here, 10 Cloverfield Lane, that me and Joe both gave really good reviews for. I gave it a 9.2. Joe gave it a personal rating of 10. And like, it was amazing. We got all this swag, got like a random flashlight out of it, got like some pop, got like some hoodies and some swag. But how was, like, you know, what made this movie, you know, what it was? You know what I'm saying? That's what we're going to try to go into. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, please take this and put it in the watch later. Go and check it out. I promise you're going to love it, because from a science fiction standpoint, from a story-driven standpoint, like, it blends all these different things together, and even the horror genre in and of itself, like, there are some serious things that go down in this movie that you will not expect. I can't remember if it was rated R or not, but for good reason, I would definitely say it probably is. So let's talk about some of the biggest things. What is this movie all about? Like, is it connected to Cloverfield in any way? That's the biggest question that probably y'all are wondering. Yes, this movie is directly connected to Cloverfield, but it's not crippled by its connection. Basically, Cloverfield could be its own movie, and this can be its own movie, and you wouldn't miss anything. You don't have to look at Cloverfield to watch this film, but the character Michelle, the character Howard, they are in a world that has been infected, that has basically had a situation that happened to them that was catastrophic to the point that people were dead in a large proximity area. And you come to find out that it's actually aliens. That it's not only aliens, that aliens, anybody that is still alive, that is human, they deploy this toxin into the air, and it basically is infecting people. And like, the real deal situation is when the main character, Michelle, she basically is kind of kidnapped in a sense by John Goodman's Howard. She doesn't know what his ulterior motives are. She just knows she doesn't trust him. And the first chance she gets, she busts a glass like this on top of his head, and she runs out, and she gets into the airlock, and she looks outside to find a car. And he had told her the whole entire picture, basically, that there was nobody alive. If anybody was alive, then they're infected, right? We didn't know if we believed that or not. She goes and looks outside, and sure enough, somebody starts walking there, and the woman looks like she is disease-ridden. Like, she is infected. And after that point, like, the movie just takes off as to what is real and what is not. But more than anything, this woman had been infected by the compound that the aliens have been pushing out. At the end of the film, when the main character, Michelle, gets out, it's an unworldly feeling, because you look to the left or to the right, and you see, like, this spacecraft just hovering there. And like, me and Joe were like, we were looking like, what was that? You know? And then the giant just dropped something onto the ground, and that's when the horror element that I'm talking about comes into play. And they play that science fiction role well. Because, I mean, the whole thing was she had to come up with the suit, and she didn't want it to become airborne and she get infected. You know, at some point she decided to take the mask off, and that wasn't the situation. Then she saw that the ship started spraying all this substance around. And I was like, it's not only she has to deal with an infection and a ship, but she's also got to deal with this creature that obviously is strong because it picked up a car, and she doesn't know what's going to happen. And that whole sequence was done so well from a horror standpoint. What did you think about that sequence?
Oh man, it was great. One thing that I like about this movie, how they did it well. They were really smart as far as like the production. If you look at this movie as a production and the production value, how much money they probably spent in filming this, probably wasn't a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it was great. Reason why, because it follows kind of like some of the more traditional style films where it's shot all majority in one place. Mm-hmm. Majority of this film was shot in the bunker. Mm-hmm. So there wasn't any need for like the crew to like really travel or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So I was shot in this bunker, but what they do have is a great kind of mystery behind Howard's character and who he actually is.
Yes, exactly.
And not only that, but between that, it develops a lot of drama between these characters, Howard, Emmitt, and Michelle. Because it's like, who is this guy, Howard?
Yeah.
And yes, he did save their lives by taking them in, but is his past peachy clean? Not necessarily.
Exactly.
Some of the things that they find out is that the guy the girl that he claims, he has a photo of a girl who he claimed was his daughter. Yeah. Ends up that wasn't his daughter. Confirmed by Emmitt, who actually grew up in that town and is familiar with everyone in the town. So, who is the girl that, in the photo is one of his classmates. So, and she was missing. So, that points the finger back to Howard, like, he's a pedophile.
Yeah.
Honestly. A pedophile and a murderer.
Yeah.
He's just, Howard is, there's one scene where, that's just, it's really just suspenseful, not only with, like, the threat of aliens. There's that threat that we kind of have in the back of our minds, but not only that, but the threat of who are we, who are we habitating with?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Who is that guy, Howard? He pulls out, there's one scene, he pulls out, like, a bucket. It was
It was sulfuric
acid. And anybody who watched Breaking Bad, you know what that is. So he pulls out this huge tub. A huge tub. And like, he pulls it. Y'all, well, I knew this man was dangerous. He pulled it out from underneath the kitchen sink.
Yeah. Like
it's just a tub. He pulled it out like the counter part of the wall part of the counter and just pulled out this big tub. Now this barrel actually. And I was like, wow. So during that time, Michelle, she's been, she tried to get away once. But after that, she's kind of just like, okay, this is real. The threat is real, so I'm cool where I'm at. I'm cool in the bunker. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't really... Howard's a creepy guy. So.
Yeah, like the whole entire time, you are rooting for him in the beginning. Like certain things he apologized. Because you find out in the beginning with the car crash that he hit her. He apologized later. He said he didn't mean to. He was rushing back. He was upset. And there's so many different moments that you want to believe what he's saying. But the moment that was the icebreaker was when he had her crawling through the air vent to try to fix something. She gets out to the top and comes to find out she sees something that was written, help. And it was written in fingernails and in blood. And then she finds like the earrings and it connects to the person that he confirms. And it's a great mystery that's going on, and it's really suspenseful. And like Joe said, it immerses you into these character dynamics, like who is, Emmitt? Like, why does he get in this situation? Why is he trusting Howard? Is Howard crazy and just making this up? The thing about this is, Howard is a complex character because he is a pedophile. Like, he is a corrupt person. He is a murderer. But yet, he's right. Because he worked under some kind of like a location where they actually test and assess signals and wave stuff, and at the same time he had military experience, and so he knew the compound that was deploying in air, that it was contracting and could get people sick. And so like what he was saying was valid and he was keeping them safe, but it's like he also was a monster in and of himself. And that's the reality of the situation. It's like, what's the lesser of two evils? Being outside and trying to make it out on your own, or being in there with somebody that will kill you. And the thing was that Emmitt, the character that I said that I liked, that I actually enjoyed, he gets shot in that moment that Joe was describing. Because there was a lot of different moments that, like I was worried that Howard was gonna do something, because he sat there next to her when she was trying to take a shower, trying to use the bathroom, and then like they had this Monopoly game and they were talking and they were doing charades at one point. And like, they had already kind of came up with their little scheme or whatever. And at that point, like Howard's like, he was kind of giving up an example or something. He's like, I see what you're doing. I am watching you at all times. Like he the way he described it, it was so menacing. I was like, that is a great sequence and that's a great show of acting, in my opinion. And that's how you feel throughout the whole entire film. Every time you're inside, that's how you feel. And my last comment about this whole entire movie is, two different things. One, Michelle does make it out alive, and the way that she breaks out of this alien situation is amazing. I'm not even gonna go into the description of it, but it makes way for something to happen next with a new movie, which I hope that they actually go into this. I hope you get enough of critical acclaim that they can do that. But the thing that I have to say, and I didn't even talk to Joe about, is that we are secluded on this farm with this man, but you see every part of the bunker, every part of the house, every part of the outside. Like, this is the first movie I can say that they take advantage of every single space in the confounds of where they're located. You know that? You thought about that? Because, I mean, like, they take place in the air vents, they take place in the house, they take place in the smaller areas, the outside, the house. Like, it's, like, this is the first movie I can say that they take advantage of all areas in the entire set. And they do not waste any moment of it. And that's why I gave it like a 9.2 out of 10. And I really enjoyed this film, and I can't wait to watch it again because I feel like there's things that I'm going to miss. It makes me want to go watch Cloverfield because I feel like there's going to be some connections there with certain characters. Even like the main character, well, not one of the main characters, but Emmitt coming from Louisiana. I feel like there was a character in Cloverfield that came from Louisiana. Can't confirm that. I'll go back and look at and fact check that. But what's your closing thoughts for the spoiler review?
If they make a sequel, or if they make another movie after this, which I hope they do, but one thing I hope they, keep transitioning from this movie and potentially to another movie is their use of their characters. Yeah. Because I mean that was just amazing.
Yeah.
Because I mean not only did you have like kind of like the sci-fi kind of horror thing going, but you also have like this crazy suspenseful drama going on, or this mystery you don't know what's going on. So I hope they have really strong characters in the future that will pose a threat not only just for the aliens but also for these different characters here.
Yeah.
So that was really good.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it again. Hopefully y'all enjoyed our spoiler-filled review for 10 Cloverfield Lane. Keep it locked. JBS, we ain't gonna stop. And God is good. Love y'all. Peace.